watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 4. I'm Mark Hall.
And I'm Annalisa Gale. New this afternoon, Fairfax County Police have now identified the victim in the deadly shooting yesterday at a gym in Reston.
Police say 31-year-old Hung Choi was shot and killed at the Gold's Gym.
And tonight, a suspect is behind bars. DC News Now's Randy Bass joining us live in Reston with the latest. Randy, this is not the first shooting at a Virginia gym in recent months.
Yeah, Annalisa, Mark, 2 deadly shootings at Northern Virginia gyms in just the last 2 months. The most recent one right here at Gold's Gym in Reston, still closed to members more than 24 hours after this all happened. Signs on the door locked so members can't get inside. Witnesses tell us those shots sent people running away in a panic. The man police say pulled the trigger is spending another night in jail tonight.
Have something like this happen in a gym, I mean, I feel for the victim and their family, and it's just, I'm shocked.
Police say the victim, 31-year-old Hung Choi, was shot multiple times on the gym floor here before the shooter took off. Hours later, police took a suspect into custody, 43-year-old Steve Ha, staying behind bars after a court hearing this morning. He faces second-degree murder and firearms charges. Members at Gold's Gym shocked to hear about what happened and to see the gym closed today.
We don't really have a lot of crime here, so I'm kind of surprised.
This shooting marks the second deadly shooting at a Northern Virginia gym in just 2 months. The other happened in Alexandria at the end of June. Members here are thinking about gym gun policies, along with whether safety and security measures in place are enough. One member we talked to says he has a concealed carry permit. He says if people are going to bring guns to the gym,
I think, you should have to go through certain security measures to even order to carry as well, and should definitely exercise your right to be safe.
Now, we had a chance to reach out to Gold's Gym today, asked them about their policies and just for comment in general on the shooting. We did not hear back by the time of this report. However, Fairfax County Police still very much investigating what happened here. Anybody with any information at all is urged to get in touch with officers. In Reston, I'm Randy Bass, DC News Now.
Randy, thank you.
Yeah. A live look at Ocean City. My goodness, look at that weather. Look at that experience. And we're here in the studio.
Yeah, people still at the beach, even though it's a bit cooler out there. Let's turn over down to meteorologist Scott Sumner. And Scott, some people are really liking this taste of fall.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, I could see Mark doing that parasailing there. That was in the background. No, really? No. Okay. Well, I don't know. Maybe Mark will do something else out there and enjoy the day. Hey, 76 degrees, partly cloudy skies is what we've seen. A little bit of a breeze today, but certainly not as windy as we were yesterday. And we'll take those temperatures through the 70s here into the 60s, getting down into the lower 60s around 4 o'clock in the morning in the district. And that leads me to bring up this graphic because, it was chilly last night. Well, we have another chilly night tonight. Well, with clear skies and a very dry air mass in place, those two will help to bring that thermometer down quite a bit. Now in DC, I'm going for a low of 57, and the record low is 51, set back in 1923. Now, none of these places should bottom out at records, but I wanted to show you this graphic just to give you an idea how close we may fall. And the closest one is Hagerstown, going for 48 here for an overnight low, and 44 was the record set back in 1982. So while it's going to be a chilly one, it's not going to be a record-breaking cold night. All right, sunny and comfy, low humidity through Friday, warming this weekend, and dry into early next week. Yeah, wait till you see my 7-day forecast. Have the shades handy and put away the umbrellas. Guys, back to you.
All right, Scott, thank you. And new details on a bizarre crash on a highway in Gaithersburg.
Yeah, police say a man riding a lawnmower died after being hit by a car yesterday afternoon on Great Seneca Highway near High Gables Drive. Police say a car hit Juan Guerrero Moreno, who was crossing the northbound lanes from east to west while operating the lawnmower. Guerrero Moreno was pronounced dead at a nearby hospital. As for why he was riding a lawnmower on a highway, police are still investigating.
Well, following a wave of backlash, a DC gym is removing surveillance cameras from its men's locker rooms. Now, David Von Storch, who owns Vita Fitness, says that the cameras were added to stop theft. In a statement to DC News Now, Van Torch says that they will no longer have video surveillance in the sink area or walkway of the men's locker room. Security cameras will stay up at the entrance of the locker rooms, but will not point inside of the locker rooms themselves. In place of the cameras, Van Torch says the gym will be stepping up enforcement with regular walkthroughs in locker rooms.
DC News Now is your local election headquarters. Prince George's County Executive and U.S. Senate candidate Angela Alsobrooks took the national stage at the DNC last night.
And in a keynote address, Alsobrooks praised Democratic nominee Kamala Harris, calling her a friend, role model, and mentor.
She's saying Harris has the experience to lead the country as the next president.
Kamala Harris knows how to keep criminals off the streets. And come November, with your help, she'll keep one out of the Oval Office.
Alsobrooks is looking to become just the third black woman to serve in the U.S. Senate, the second being Kamala Harris there. Well, I'll have much more from the Democratic National Convention in the next half hour in a live report from Chicago. But for now, you can visit our website, dcnewsnow.com, for highlights.
In our schools, DC Public Schools will be holding a back-to-school information session to prepare students and parents for the new year. It's happening virtually tomorrow from 6 to 7 p.m. This session will cover topics from attendance and early childhood to immunizations and safety. Spanish and ASL interpretation will be available. The free session will take place on Microsoft Teams. Well, in the wake of his bribery indictment, D.C. Councilmember Trayon White has canceled a back-to-school event scheduled for Saturday. The council member's office put out a statement saying that they look forward to the future opportunities to connect with the community.
Meantime, in Maryland, Frederick County students returned to the classroom today. Understandably, some were not thrilled about waking up before the crack of dawn.
I got up at 6:30 this morning.
6 a.m. on the dot.
If they weren't here, we wouldn't be here, so we're very excited to have them back in the building for the year.
Meanwhile, a new policy on cell phones in schools is starting to be implemented. Frederick County reporter Skylar Salas spoke to teachers about how that policy could impact the classroom environment.
Yeah, that's exactly right, guys. Whether it's texting or scrolling, Frederick County Schools is trying to put a stop to cell phone use in schools. But the only question that remains is how will a new cell phone policy be enforced in the classroom?
I don't think that it will actually be a logistical problem physically, but it is going to be a shift in people's thinking and expectations.
Melissa Dirks is president of the Frederick County Teachers Association, as well as an art teacher, and knows all too well of the kind of distractions cell phones place in a classroom setting, and says this is something teachers have been asking for.
There is quite a bit of research now that's come out about the developing adolescent brain and the amount of time on social media or the amount of time on their device being an issue for their social and emotional health.
Other people I talked to agree with Dirk and say cell phones have become more of a distraction over the years.
Less distractions equals better classroom time. I think cell phones are useful for some aspects, but kids having access to everything throughout the day, I think it really deters learning.
The policy also refrains from parents calling or texting their child during school hours. Some parents say although they don't agree with that, they understand why.
I guess they want you to be working in harmony with the school system. So I can understand why they would want that, but I mean, I feel like a lot of parents are going to be upset about that.
And the FCPS school board is meeting next month to further discuss the policy. Reporting in Frederick County, Maryland, Skylar Salas, DC News Now.
All right, Skylar, thanks so much. Well, right now we're learning more about the investigation into Trayon White. DC's Mayor Muriel Bowser announcing there will be an internal review after Ward Councilmember Trayon White was charged with bribery. Now, she says in a statement to DC News Now, quote, "We will conduct an internal review of the council members' interactions with violence interruption programs, and we will, of course, cooperate with law enforcement as needed." She says the focus will remain on moving DC forward.
Well, happening in just a couple of minutes, the Italian Air Force will be flying over the district. Now, this is video from their air show in New York this past weekend, and you can see they drop red, white, and green smoke, representing Italian colors. And D.C.'s flyover happening at 4:30 p.m. sharp and is expected to last about a half hour. This is the team's first time in the United States since 1992.